I'm going to get to your in-depth preview and free pick on the Michigan Loyola of Chicago game in just a moment. And how many of you, when you filled out your brackets, those of you watching out there, how many of you had the Ramblers in the Final Four today? I can't imagine too many of you. Yeah, I know you loved the Cinderella story in the first round against Miami of Florida. Maybe you had them against Tennessee in round number 2, but advancing to the Final Four? Really? I can't imagine many. Anyway, I'm going to get to that in-depth analysis and free pick in just a moment. But listen, the news today that I just briefly want to tell you about is this. You know, every single Saturday I give you a money-saving discount code that could potentially save you hundreds of dollars off your total purchase price. But today, the second biggest discount of the entire year, 28% off your total purchase price. And you know me, I don't hold anything back. It only gets bigger twice all year long. 30% right at the beginning of the NFL season and 30% at the end of the NBA playoffs, which this year could be as late as May 26th. That's it. This is the second biggest discount of the entire year, and it goes today. You also know I don't play any games in terms of the package purchases and prices for the handicappers. They are the same today, and they'll be the same tomorrow as they were last week, as they were last month. Nothing has changed. It's not like I increased the discount and increased the package prices either. I don't play those games. So it's 28% off your total purchase price, and it's a mix and match coupon, good for any combination of handicappers, picks, and or packages. If you happen to come in right after the Super Bowl and purchase a handicappers package, which expires Monday after the championship game, this is a great opportunity for you to get into another long-term package, because now you're also available for instant rebates. And of course, anybody on a long-term package, you automatically know that as well. Your instant rebate is applicable. Let's say you have 10 days left of a current package with a particular handicapper. You want to extend it another 60 days? Well, then you'll have 70 days. You get your instant rebate and you save 28% as well. Should you have any questions, you can always contact customer service. Now, the big play here in terms of handicappers is Chris Jordan. Remember that incredible run he had through the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8? Well, today, not only going for winning day number 11 out of 15 on the short term, but 9th ever triple your wager 3,000 star release in his 35 years as a handicapper. Kansas Villanova matches the 3,000 star triple your wager winners he had on Villanova and Texas Tech last Sunday, Loyola of Chicago over Kansas State last Saturday, Villanova over West Virginia last Friday. You got them all for half price off, and today he once again is the half price play of the day with coupon code, let's be original. Let's use the word half once again. And keep in mind, he's 32-13-1. with 3,000 star plays in all sports the past 35 years, including 7-1 in college basketball, and it matches his 3,000 star triple your wager play with North Carolina over Gonzaga in last year's Final Four. And that is your featured play. All your other discounts, etc., over on the homepage. So let's talk about this early game between Michigan and Loyola of Chicago. Listen, these two teams mirror each other in so many ways. Both teams like to dictate the tempo. You are not going to see a track meet as you potentially could see in the Villanova-Kansas game. I mean, if either one of these teams scores 70 points, I would be shocked. I mean, you have a Michigan team that led the Big Ten in defense this year, giving up just about 62.5 points a game, right? You have teams that not only like to dictate the pace, but also are very strong defensively. But I think the difference maker in this game, and the guy that is going to create the most matchup problems for Loyola of Chicago, is going to be Mo Wagner for Michigan. Because if he goes to the outside, he's too quick on the perimeter for Cameron Krutwig for Loyola. And if he goes inside, Dante Ingram and Andre Jackson, they're not going to be able to contain him either. So in a low possession game where points are going to be at a premium, the other thing that you have to look at this is that Michigan, unlike Miami and Florida, unlike Tennessee, unlike Kansas State, this is a team, the Wolverines, because of their outstanding guard play, does not turn the ball over frequently. In fact, third lowest turnover rate in the entire nation. Now, Michigan, however, because of that defensive pressure they put on you, with that outstanding backcourt and because of the wing players they have, because let's face it, often they're playing Wagner, right, surrounded by 4 guards or 3 guards and a swingman. Because of that defensive pressure they bring, they force a lot of turnovers. Do they force turnovers in the number of like West Virginia? No. But they force a lot of miscues by getting opponents to perhaps a better way to say it is they disrupt the offensive flow of opponents. And what happens is you have a Loyola of Chicago team that's 219th in the nation out of 351 Division I teams in terms of turnover rate. So I think that could be key. Also keep in mind that you have one of the best defensive guards in the country in Xavier Simpson for Michigan, who's going to be quite a task for Clayton Custer, the number 1 scorer at about 14 points a game for Loyola of Chicago. And it is true that Loyola of Chicago has balanced scoring. But make no bones about it, Custer is the key player here. And he's come up with some big shots here in the postseason, as you are well aware. And the other thing is this. You know, you give me John Beilein a week to prepare, and I like my chances with Michigan. Now, Michigan played a great game against Texas A&M. Going against Texas A&M with 2 big guys in the front with Tyler Davis and Robert Williams, who are going to be sure number 1 draft picks in the NBA draft, right? And then they played a horrific game against Florida State. But why did they win that game against Florida State, even though they were just awful at the free throw line, just awful shooting 3-pointers? Because their defense held a dynamic Florida State offense in check. And that's what I think is going to deliver them to the victory again today. So, am I betting the game? No, because I love the Villanova-Kansas game. But I would be more inclined to lay the points with Michigan and end Cinderella's season because the slipper is not going to fit today than to grab the points with Loyola of Chicago. Now, you're looking at a 5.5-point line. And that line has been pretty steady all week long. Personally, if I'm betting the game, however, and you know, 99% of the time I advocate playing the favorites early and the underdogs late, I say the public money rolls in on Cinderella later in the day. I'm waiting till closer to tip-off time at 6:05 Eastern to get down on Michigan. If you believe like me, Michigan is the play because I think the public money is going to force this line down by at least a 0.5 point. So that's how I would personally play it and go against the grain and play the favorite later in this contest. If I'm on the underdog, I'm grabbing that 5.5 now because I don't think that 0.5 point is going to be there later in the day. So anyway, that's the way I'm doing it. Talk to you again tomorrow when we do this again. Good luck, everybody.